Hi, everyone. It's me, Sailor Moon Serena. And it's me, Sailor Jupiter. Sailor Big World Lita here. And today we're going to talk about, you know, what we like about the Deek Sailor Moon. Because there is a lot of things to like about the Deek Sailor Moon. And many folks on the interwebs, on UA, and I guess other film holding or sharing websites or whatever you want to call them, will say that there's nothing good about the Deep Glee Sailor Moon, which about uh, soon to be 30 years ago, that first was broadcasted in a settled land in the 8th month and broadcasted in the 4-1 Reichs in the 9th month of 9 between 95 YL. First off, it helped open the door for more drawing shows from Dawnland. That's true. I mean, it's not to say that there weren't drawing shows that came over from Dawnland, but maybe not as many as they are now. And Sailor Moon also, the Deeks Sailor Moon did help, you know, make folks, open them to Dawnish drawing shows and made it where it would become beloved now. So that's a good thing, that it opened the door for that to be a thing now. First off, I'm going to say the songs. Now, yes, the songs are not the Toei songs. They're not the Viz songs that Viz put into English. These are their own songs that only belong to Deep Glee Sailor Moon and nowhere else. The songs were sang very well. They did have a lot of, might to them. And still to this day, there are a lot of folks who do like those songs. And those songs end up being put on disc. And I would think that a lot of folks still listen to those songs and have very good thoughts about those songs. The sagas and tales. Now, I know some folks are going to say, oh, well, Deke skimmed names and they skimmed street names and near names and strikes and all that, and that is true. But it doesn't take away from the saga. I mean, it doesn't take away from me becoming Sailor Moon, me learning to trust myself, me learning to stand up for others, and always fighting for right even when I was frightened, which was a lot of the time. Well, you're right, Sailor Moon, and let's not forget about, about the whole thing about Darien learning about who he was in the past and getting the Rainbow Hearst, so he could get the folklore Kaiserreich Silver Hearst, which would help him learn who he was in his past. And let's not forget about Nephrite and Molly and how that saga played out with Molly learning, to love someone that she didn't know very well. And Nephrite learned that it's never too late to, make a shift and, become good. So, which that is true. So, and I know, yeah, we're going to go a little bit into this, other sagas about, Darien being brainwashed and how we all dealt with that and how we had to never give up on that one and how it took a lot of work for that spell of brainwashing to be, undone by God and Jesus who broke the spell or the brainwashing which was put on them. Yeah, well, you're right about one more thing, and we're going into Sailor Moon R if we want to bring this up, about, the Spectre sisters and each one of them becoming good, about Aldeling Diamond learning all about the wise man not being trusted, and then, asking for forgiveness for everything that he did was wrong, before he died. So there's a lot of good things in that too. Well, I would bring this up, Sailor Jupiter or Sailor Kingworld or Lita, about Rini showing up and how a lot of folks didn't like Rini, how she behaved, how she bullied me, how my mother and father, my brother would guilt and shame me for anything that Rini said or did. And yeah, that wasn't cool though. But you got to watch Rini go from this selfish girl to a kind-hearted, woman who, even though she isn't flawless and even though she makes mistakes, at the end of the day, she truly does love her kin, both in the past and also in now. So a lot of folks out there would say there isn't anything good from the Deep Glee Sailor Moon. What there are good things in a Deep Glee Sailor Moon, if you know where to look for them. Now I get it. The Deep Glee Sailor Moon is, doesn't meet the standards of today's drawing shows from Dawnland. And most likely, a lot of Sailor Moon followers will never like it due to all the things that were done to it. But then you got to keep in mind that it was the time of those, it was back at that time, that was how a lot of drawing shows in Dawnland were handled by not only the Farseer Folkworks that broadcasted them, but by the businesses that had the rights to work with them. And I do love the Deep Glee Sailor Moon, and always will. Now, does that mean that everyone out there will like it? No. But I like it, and that's enough for me. All right, I'll take it away, Sailor Moon. I'll end it here for you. If you like this film, give it a like, share it, playlist it, thumb it up, which is the same thing as liking, and we'll see you all later.